Welcome back to the SportsMax Zone. Netball takes the spotlight now for the next few minutes. Jamaica's Sunshine Girls departed the island earlier Thursday for the Fast5 World Series in Christchurch, New Zealand next weekend, the 9th and 10th. Matches showing live on SportsMax from Friday night of next week. Now the squad, minus superstars such as Janelle Fowler-Nemhard, Shamara Sterling-Humphrey, and the other Australia Suncorp Super League players, will feature 7 Fast5 debutants. Here are the 10 players that make up this 2024 squad. Heading to New Zealand, Amanda Pinkney, Cornelia Walters, Christina Sturridge, Kimone Shaw, Paula Ann Burton, Roxana McLean, Shadeen Bartley, Simone Gordon, Tiffany Langley, Zaudi Green, and the coaches Nadia Hansen and Dalton Hines. We are scheduled to be talking to Dalton Hines about the preparation and the expectations for this tournament with these Sunshine Girls. But the Jamaicans have a fairly good history in this tournament. 3 silver medals in the past. Recent, I think, as 2018. But as we discussed on the show yesterday with Khadija, who is playing for the Sunshine Girls in the Vitality Series and misses the Fast5, which she has played in the past, she thinks these young girls, although inexperienced, have the quality to make a mark on this tournament.
Yeah, and Lance, they finished 5th last year when they took part in the competition. 7 players will be making their debut, right? And I think it's so important that we recognize that. What I will say, though, is based on the way she spoke yesterday, Khadija, the confidence seems to be within the girls, and that's exactly what you need. Because I was reading an interview in an article in a newspaper, and the same person I was set to talk to, Dalton Hines, was speaking about the fact that despite they don't have the experience when it comes to the larger stage, it's still netball and it's what they're used to practicing and all these different things. So I think the only difference maker will be the intensity of the competition, because New Zealand is their opening match. It's a team that you can't take for granted at all. And I think, once they get over that hurdle, it should get better for them. I just think that first match will be so important because you want to get your feet wet, you want to recognize how intense the competition is, and then you continue doing what you know and love.
Yeah, well, we have Dalton Hines, one of the coaches in charge of the team, now ready to talk to us. And Dalton, Mariah just mentioned the newness of the squad and what they may expect to battle against New Zealand. Starting off against the Silver Ferns, in a home game, how tough will that be?
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for having me. It's gonna be tough, but we are up to for the challenge.
How has preparation gone, and how confident are you that this new look unit with so many girls who haven't played Fast5 before can actually be competitive in this tournament?
We'll be competitive. Like I've said before, it's the same netball. The only difference is that we don't have the benefits of the support, given the format, the 2 wings, given the format of this game. We have prepared well, and like I said, we are ready to take on the challenge.
Yeah, Dalton, one of the things that they will have to be prepared for, which would focus on their fitness too, is the rapid nature of the schedule. You play multiple games over 2 days, more than 1 game per day. So there is going to be a sort of a taxing aspect on this, on the conditioning of the girls. How are they in that regard?
I would say very good. The physical trainer has done, a fantastic job with them. They too have, have their programs that they would have had to work with when they are not at training. And so they are not 100% fit as we would have, wanted them to be. However, they are fit enough to cope with the challenges that this game, format of the game presents.
Yeah, the last time they did really well in this tournament, Dalton, would have been 2018 when they were beaten finalists. They lost the final actually by just 1 goal, 34-33 to the New Zealand team. But that team had Romelda Aiken, Shanice Beckford, Khadija was in that team as well, Shamira Sterling. So it was a unit that was experienced enough to match strides with the top girls in the world as far as netball is concerned. And can you throw some light for us on the feeling I have that there is now becoming a clearer separation from a Fast5 unit from the regular netball team, as in the case of the Jamaica Sunshine girls, your Fast5 girls are almost not a part of the national setup. And is that true for a lot of the other top teams as well, the Englands, the Australians, and New Zealands of this world?
Okay, first to answer that, all the teams that are part of the top 6 that will participate in this tournament uses the ladies out of their national setup. So the Fast5 team, as you indicated just now, is not different from the team that will go into the Horizon tournament. What happens is that team that goes to England in a couple of days after the Fast5 team leave is a more experienced team with the more experienced players, and that is a series that they'll be playing to determine our ranking. In that series that they'll be playing, that will determine our ranking. So it's not a separation of
selection
personnel.
Yes.
It's just that, and one of the thing about this too is giving opportunities, international opportunities to other athletes. And so that's where, that's how the game has evolved now. So you will occasionally find that there might be players, and these players, most of them would play in the Suncorp League. So they would have been working pretty hard all year. So it would have been very challenging, really, to ask them to be a part of the Fast5 team.
Okay,
right?
so to be clear, Dalton, you're suggesting that if the Vitality Series against England was not happening in November, then many of these players, elite players, would have played Fast5?
I can't say that many would, but some would have.
Some?
Gone to Fast5.
I hear you.
Because then it would come down to, because within this group, as is the case with all the groups, you have ladies, they're playing the Suncorp League and they're also studying. So it's very challenging for them. And some of them are mothers and wives, etc. So that could take a toll on them.
Yeah. So the first match, coach, against New Zealand, we know how the home crowd can be in New Zealand. You know, everybody's going to come out to support their team. What advice would you give to the youngsters, especially the ones that will be making their debut for the Sunshine Girls?
Well, they have been prepped for that, and we have had the more senior girls who would have also sort of give them some insight as to expectation. Being there myself in many different roles, I would have also apprised them of what to expect. But it's always going to be a culture shock, irregardless of, you know, how many, how well they have, you know, would have been advised as to what to expect and the expectations, etc. There's still going to be that culture shock.
Yeah.
They are smart ladies, and so they understand the assignment, and so they will snap out of that quickly and be ready to get the job done.
Yeah, and the competition begins on November 9. It will be on SportsMax. We're so happy to be able to show that to the rest of the world. What preparations will be happening from now till then to ensure that the ladies are ready? Any areas in particular, coach, you'd want to target?
Well, in preparation, we, like I said earlier, we are prepared particularly well for this tournament. We have had some simulation. We have had some practice games. We have also had some simulation exercises, you know, mimicking what would happen when we get to the tournament. So we play teams by name. We play New Zealand first, and then we would play, let's say, South Africa second. So we would go based on the, simulate based on the names of the teams that we would play and we also simulate playing in the semifinals and finals, right? So we just pick a team out of the hat and say this team is in the semifinals and this team is in the finals. So we would have done that level preparation. So, like I said, the ladies are ready and we're ready to go.
Wow, Coach, I can see very, very detailed preparation, which is why I asked that question because, you know, I just want to know the level that these girls are at. Now, you have to play teams.
I'm sorry if I may add. So when we get to New Zealand,
yeah.
I think on the second or the third day in New Zealand, we'll be having some practice games against teams that are, an Australian team has requested a practice game from us. Not the team that would be playing in the competition. I think it's an Australian men's team.
Okay.
And also a South African men's team would have. And so because they have been playing against the men out here, that has also helped with their level of fitness. It has also enhanced their strength because, you know, the men, you know, most times are physically stronger than the women. And so they would have been prepared to take on that challenge. So we will have some more practice games when we get to New Zealand to prepare us for the tournament on the 9th and the 10th.
All right, Dalton, we're going to leave it there. All the best for the girls at the Fast5 Netball World Series. And let's hope the Jamaicans can pull off a shocker and come up certainly not only with a podium finish, but at the top of the podium. Thanks, Dalton, and all the best.
That's
you can send the girls our regards here from the SportsMax zone. Yeah, I think that's it. We go to break. When we come back, I'll be at the track.
Will you?
Yes.